Okay, this is gonna be a demonstration for doing your Photoshop practice today on the Photoshop iPad version. Okay, so let me just go to your assignment details here. So this is the assignment you're gonna be working on for today. It'll be Photoshop practice using the iPad. So I haven't really posted this assignment just yet, but main thing is you're going to accomplish a couple of different things in your practice for a day, and basically this will kind of help you to prepare for your next project, which is going to create a movie poster based on the year 2024. It's going to be similar to like the book cover designs we did with the Adobe Express in 2023, but it's basically just like kind of creating like a futuristic poster of like, what will happen this year or what will happen in the future. So we're going to do like the following things for your assignment. So, we're going to, basically do some photo collaging, photo editing. I want you to take your time, cut out 3 photos as clean as possible using the layer mask. Duplicate at least one of those photos 3 times. Get rid of distractions in the background with the selection tools, and then collage at least 3 overlay effects. So pretty simple though. It's just going to be strictly just, practicing photo collaging on the iPad version of Photoshop. So to get started, you're going to want to locate where Photoshop is. So you want to look for the icon that says PS and looks blue. So it's in the top middle right here. So you can click on Photoshop to open it. And then once you click on it, it's going to prompt you to sign in. So just remember, make sure to sign in properly. So, don't sign in with Google, because I know typically most of you guys will sign in with Google. You want to click sign in with Adobe, and then it's going to ask you for your email. So this is where you just type in your school email login. And this is probably where you're going to end up using your Google account. Make sure to click on company and school account. Don't do personal account, because it may lock you out if you do that. So company, school account. And then it's going to have you sign in one more time. Okay, and then one nice thing about Photoshop, though, and this is like one of the Adobe products, is once you sign in one time, though, you don't really need to sign in any more times afterwards. So, we're going to get started with this right here. So just have this opened up. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to download some images on the practice assignment. So you want to click on where it says Photoshop images. This is going to be direct you to the Google Drive, and it may prompt you to sign into Google Drive. So just make sure to sign in when you click on it. And you're going to have a lot of different categories and things you can click on. So you can click on this top here to change the orientation. So first thing I'll start off with is we're just going to add a background to your picture. So you can click on backgrounds, or you want to do like landscapes. That's fine too. There's a couple of different options. I think it's just mainly backgrounds and landscapes. Everything else is like kind of like out there. I'm going to click on backgrounds first. So click on backgrounds, click on one of the images, and then you can kind of scroll through like different images you could use for your practice photo collage. So I'm going to just click on any of these. I'll probably pick like this one right here. I'll do something with water. So to save the images, though, it's pretty simple. You click and hold the image, and then this is with your thumb or with your finger. And then if you click and hold, or touch and hold, that's what I'm going to say, you can click on save to camera roll. So I can save a couple of these, maybe this one here. And you'll kind of go back and forth with the, saving here. So you can go back to Photoshop, and then we're going to create or import and open. So, so import and open. And click on photos. Actually, you know what, we can, okay, we'll do it this way, that's fine. So, now we can kind of select which images that we want to use. So for purposes of this assignment, I'll just click on this one right here. Okay, so now we have like our background that we're going to use. So this is basically Photoshop when you open it up. So obviously it looks a little bit more different than Procreate. A lot more buttons you can click on and hold on. So but it's kind of the same thing. Like you can kind of pinch and move to make things bigger, smaller. You can rotate it as well. Apparently you can move the image as well. Your undo redo buttons on the top right. And you have your toolbars on the left side, and then the right side is going to be more for like kind of controlling the layers and different things on here. So okay, so I'm gonna navigate you through this, and then some of you guys may see like this circle here. So this is kind of like another like button you can press and hold to do like different commands. I typically don't really use this, but it's like the equivalence of like holding the Control or Shift key or Command key when using Photoshop. So I don't really play around with that though. If I mess with it. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm just gonna take my keyboard off. Get started here. Okay, so very first thing I'm gonna do, real simple though, is we're just gonna cut out some images using Photoshop. So we're gonna go back to the website here, Photoshop images. And you just gotta pick out some images to just cut out. So I'm gonna just click on people, but you can definitely like use like a lot of different things on here. There's like people you can cut out. There's random objects. Might be easier to click on this tab here. See like random objects you can choose from. Hands. So you can have a little bit of fun. Creative fun with this project though. It's not really anything I'm expecting though, but I want you to just kind of like practice certain things. So why don't we just do animals here just for fun? I'll do this bird right here. Yeah, why not? So just click on the image you want to use, click and hold with or touch and hold with your finger, and then click OK to save it there. And we're just gonna pick out a couple images, so I'm gonna pick out that one. We could do this horse here. And maybe we can add like a person in the photo. This guy right here. Okay, so it doesn't really have to make sense though, but I just want you to just kind of practice these things. So very first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out 3 people. So I'm just going to show you how to do it with one person. So you're going to go on the right side here, and then you're going to click on your layers window here. So different ways you can pull up your layers. This one's a little bit easier for layers. So you're going to click on this layers button here, click on the plus, and then we're going to add your photos on there. So we're going to add one photo at a time. So I'm going to start off with that bird first. So I guess we're going to add this bird over here. So I'm going to resize this over here a little bit. And okay, so I'll make the bird about this size here. So click done to resize it, and then we're just going to cut the bird out of the background. So Photoshop has a lot of different ways to cut out your images very neat and clean. I'm going to show you guys probably the most common way of like how to cut out the images, and if for some reason you want to explore like other ways to cut out your images on Photoshop, then you can feel free to research and look it up. But for most of you, this is probably like your go-to way of doing things. So you're gonna click on the image, and then we're gonna click on this button here. It looks like a rectangle with a gray circle in the middle. This is your layer mask button, and we're gonna use this to cut out your images. So we're gonna click on the brush tool here. So you're gonna create the layer mask. Click on the brush tool. And I'll click on it twice. So you can click on it here to adjust your colors. Make sure this is a pure black and this is a pure white. So it's gonna be real important why they're black and white here. Make sure the opacity is at 100. This should be on by default though. But if you click on the brush again though, you're gonna have like specific brushes you can use. So you're gonna flip between this hard edge brush and this brush pen. I'm gonna just start off with the hard brush just because This will allow me to erase a little bit more. So start off with a hard brush, and basically all you're going to do is you're going to color it in black. And basically whatever you color in black, though, is going to erase your picture. So I'm going to erase as much of the background as I can. And then if for some reason you need to bring the picture back, you can click on white to bring it back. And then you can use the undo redo key. So I want you to use this technique called using the layer mask, just because, you know, you technically could, like if I were to go back a few steps, like I'm going to get rid of this layer mask here. You know, you technically could just use the erase tool and then just erase it, the background. Okay, the only issue though is if you erase it though, and then you're like, oh, I need to go back. You know, you can undo and redo it though, but the thing is that you can't bring the image back if you've messed up on it, especially if you've done like a lot of different things and you want to go back and fix it. You know, sorry, you can't really go back and fix it because it's basically erased at that point. So, you know, the erase key though, you know, this is like, oops, I can't fix it. You know, there's not really much you can do except the undo and redo button. But, you know, if you've done like a lot of different things at one time though, then you really can't go back and fix it. So, you know, for some reason, like if we use the layer mask, so we go, oops, I erased too much of it. I can flip it to the white here and then bring that image back if I need to. So this is a very easy way to, you know, erase and clean up things as you go along. So after you erase most of the background here, you're going to use the brush tool. So the brush tool is a really refined, you know, brush. This will allow you to, you know, get a little bit more like refined on like the erasing. So this is probably what's going to take the most time in your project, is just taking your time and just erasing the, you know, in the image. So this brush tool works a little bit differently than the brush tool in Procreate, just because, you know, if you put pressure on it though, it's gonna like kind of, you know, it's almost like you're kind of like dabbing like water on it. You're gonna take your time, just erase everything that you need. And, you know, the nice thing about Procreate or the iPads is, you know, we have like this really nice brush pens, so we can take your time in erasing it. Because in the past, if you had to do this with like a keyboard mouse, it was really painful to do. Okay, and then just like I stated before though, there's other ways you can kind of like erase and get rid of the background for your images. I'm showing you the, I want to say the slightly longer way of doing things, but this is probably the most efficient way of doing it though, because you know, if you let the iPad do a lot of the erasing for you, then you're not going to get it exactly the way you want it. And plus, you learn a lot more, you know, doing things manually as opposed to automatic. So take your time. You know, I would zoom in closely, rotate your image around, erase. Oops, if you mess up, you can always undo it. Okay, and I'm kind of moving fast though, but, you know, you can really just take your time here. So this is probably what's going to take the most time though, is just erasing the background out. And yeah, you know, I would say like this is probably like the biggest part of your project, is just taking your time, just erasing it, background out. Yeah, like I said before though, the Photoshop on the iPads, they do have some options where you can use the selection tool and then erase things, but you know, if you really want to get like in depth with it though, it's probably better if you like, if you really like doing like this kind of like photoshopping thing where you're erasing and putting together from your images, it is better to learn how to do this on the computer version of Photoshop, because this is more of like, I'll say like a beginner's way of like Photoshop, but it's not like the most optimal way. Okay, so this is pretty good though, what I have here. So you want to erase your image here. And it looks like I erased too much on the bottom here. So this is like I stated before, I can't really undo back here. I guess I could, but you know, it's like all that work I did though is like all gone now. So this is like a perfect opportunity though, if like if you messed up. I'm gonna flip back to white, And just bring this back here a little bit. So you see how much I messed up over there. I didn't even realize I messed this up here. This is actually a perfect reason why the layer mask is important. Okay. All right, so I cut out the bird here. And now I can use the selection tool to move it around. If I wanted to, I can rotate it around, flip it, make it bigger, smaller. So, I don't know, maybe I might want to put the bird in the, coming out of the water here, that'd be kind of fun. So, done here. And it looks kind of funny though, but yeah, then we can kind of modify and erase this. So I'm going to put it behind this here. It's going to be kind of submerged in the water a little bit. Okay. All right, so that was one of the parts of the assignments, though, is, you know, just cutting out 3 different images, 3 photos. I did one of them already, so using the layer mask. Now, the next part is we're going to duplicate this image at least 3 times. So real simple, though, duplicate it. You click on the layer here and... try and remember how to duplicate this. So click on this layer here, and let me see. Yeah, I'm so used to the other version of Photoshop. That flattens the image. I wonder if you even duplicate it in this program. Okay, so we selected this and, oh, okay. All right, pretty simple. All right, so you have to click on this menu over here. So this is like kind of like a smaller menu of the duplicate option, but if you click on this one will show you all the different layers. And then if you click on the image of the layer that you worked on, so it's this one right here, we can click on the 3 dots here. And then it's going to give us the option to duplicate that layer. So we can duplicate this layer, make a copy of it. You can go back on here again. And we're just going to, oh, actually you can do the same thing right here. So just click on the 3 dots here. And then you can click on the duplicate layer duplicate. So if we move it around, we can move it over here. So you're going to duplicate this 3 times. You know, if you wanted to, you can resize it again. Maybe I might want to put the bird a little bit closer up. Although it got really pixelated, so just kind of be careful with it when you make it smaller and then bigger. Sometimes that happens though. So I'm gonna need to bring that beak out back a little bit more because I erased it, but. So go back on the layer mask. Oh, oops. So that's another thing you gotta be careful about the layer mask though is you know, you don't wanna click on the original layer, which I kinda did over here. You have to click on the original duplicated, so just make sure to flip it back to this white and black box. And then if you wanted to bring the layer mask back, you can bring it back. So I just wanted to bring it back though because I need to resize this again. Make it bigger, put in the front. Click on done. Really got pixelated though, but that's okay though. Okay, so if we go back to the layer mask here, we can click on the white, bring this part of the beak back because I did erase it, and then just clean it up. Okay, so that's the duplicate part of the assignment. Now get rid of a distraction in the background using the selection tool. So pretty simple. And again, the first part's going to be what's going to take the longest. The other parts are pretty simple. Let's just say I want to get rid of like a distraction. So like this person right here, it's kind of hard to see, but this guy in the middle, he's like, doesn't really belong on this page drawing. So, and I did need to erase this part up here. Okay, so there is a way you can get rid of distractions in the background. Now, I'm not going to be really real nitpicky though. This is like more of like just something you practice on your own. But if you do notice distractions in the background though, this is a really easy way of doing this. So make sure you click on the layer where your image is. So I'm clicking on this layer right here. Okay, and we're gonna do a little bit of a selection. So if you click on this one that looks like a lasso tool, actually you can actually use the lasso tool for this. So I'm gonna draw the image of the person right here. So just an outline of them. And real simply, you're just gonna click on Content Aware Fill, and then that will basically get rid of him. So you can have fun with this, you know. Now some of this won't work out real well. So like for example, if I want to get rid of like this tower here, I can do like the same thing. I'm just gonna select the tower here and just content awareness, and yeah, he's gone right now. Okay, so that's pretty simple though. Now it's not gonna do all this stuff perfectly. So for example, if I want to get rid of this, if I wanted to get rid of this trash can here, I'm gonna try, but I know I tried this trash can before. It does look kind of funny. Whoops, not inverse. So content and aware fill. You see how it does like something weird. So I'm letting you know right now it's not perfect. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now we could do like multiple versions of the content fill. Like so I can do like this little section here, content fill, and that will kind of fix it over time though. But it's gonna look really blurry though if you do it multiple times. So just kind of be aware of that though. It's not like perfect though, but there is like things you could do in Photoshop to get rid of things. Okay, so deselect. Yeah, that looks weird. So we're gonna just keep that trash can there. I'm gonna do that. So just kind of keep that in mind though. There are some things you can get rid of, but other things it might be a little bit harder. So that's the content aware. I actually get rid of that person real well though. And then the last part is collage with 3 different overlays. So this part's actually kind of fun. So if you go back to your images over here and I'm probably gonna have like a separate folder for like the overlays just so you know where it is. But basically anything with like a black or a white background, those are like your overlay effects. So like these clouds, this fire effect, and then let me see, smoke. So all these are like special effects you can incorporate in your photographs. And what's really neat about these overlay effects though is you can basically get rid of the background right away just because it's already on like a preset black or white background. I think most of these are black though. So okay, so I'm just gonna pick out a few effects. So let me see if I want to add like this ring effect. So click and hold. Oops, trying to see it on the iPad. So let's say the camera, I'm gonna pick out a couple of them. So the lights is a fun to play around with. Water is a little tricky. I mean, I guess you can do water. I'll just pick out a few of them. Let me do smoke. Smoke always shows up pretty nicely. So just pick out a few effects you want to play around with. Okay, so let's go back to this photo here. I'm gonna bring my bird back. So if you click on the eyeball, though, that'll bring it back and bring it forward. Okay, so we're just gonna add these photos. So click on the plus on here, photos, and we'll just add these effects on here. So Okay, we'll just leave this as is for now. Okay, so real simple though. When you add the overlay, you're going to click on the line right here with the dots or circles. This will pull up your layers property. And what you want to do on the layers property though, you're going to click on the blending option, and you're just going to kind of click on these different overlays. So usually multiply works really well with the white background. You probably want to scroll down to either line or screen or one of these down here. So find one that's like most appropriate, that's showing up real well. So I kind of like this linear dodge one. It's a little strong, but another thing too, you can lower the opacity as well. So if it's a little too strong, you can always lower it. Okay, but what I typically like to do though is I like to add the effect on here, move it around. And then if I need to, I can do like a layer mask like I did before. So like, you notice like the edges are like really hard there. So feel free to use like a soft fuzzy brush here, so a soft round brush. And you can just kind of soften the edges of the picture. So I'm gonna make this really big, and I'm just going to okay, maybe that's not the best brush to use. Oh, also the brush pen tool. So click on the brush, use a soft round one, and then this should soften the edges a little bit more. So it looks like kind of blends in better with the photos. So some of these you have to kind of just blend them in a little bit better. There's really not much you can do. Okay, so I'm just gonna soften up the edges a little bit. That's pretty good. And then we're just gonna move it around, manipulate it. If you wanted to, you can even play around like the distort tools. That could be kind of neat. Just play around like the perspective of it. So maybe I might want to put the ring around the bird or something. So this could be something you need to play around with if you wanted to. So click on done. And then I had to go back to that layer mask again. This time I'll probably use the hard edge brush. So do a little bit of erasing there, go back here. You kind of get the idea, It's gonna like kind of wrap around the bird. So you can have fun with this. I probably need to go back with the white again to clean it up more. But you kind of get the idea though. So I have the ring wrap around the bird. I probably would erase it a little bit better, but you could do some different other effects. So you can add like the water too if you want it. So if you want to submerge them all in the water. Of course, this now doesn't make any sense though. So the 3 dots here. And this is actually my favorite part of the assignment though, is just kind of playing around with the effects. So I'll kind of move it over here a little bit. So water doesn't really show up too well though, but you can do water. Let me see if any of these other ones are good down here. Some of them do some really crazy stuff to it. Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of water. Sometimes it works real well, sometimes it doesn't. I'm probably gonna delete that. So you can click on it and delete it. Let's try the smoke though. Smoke usually shows up real well. So you're gonna add 3 different effects to your photos. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the assignment. So add the photo, overlay. So you probably have to use lighting again. So and maybe I might do a screen for this one, just because I don't want it to be too strong. And some of them is really, some of them are really easy. You can probably just click and add the image on there, and then do it because I don't know where that white came from. You can click on screen, overlay, and then move it around. Yeah, I could put the smoke effect over here. So you see like that weird thing on the top, you can just kind of crop it upward. just resize it. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this assignment. It's just experimenting and trying different things on here.